Hey guys, we're here at Art Talk and we got special guests. I got my dopest tattoo artist, so I had to, he was here tattooing me this weekend, so I had to make sure he came on the show. So he's doing me the favor of getting interviewed. So we got a few questions for Mr. LORENZO BACA. You just tattoo? What else do you do? I know what you do, but I want my followers to hear from you.
Yeah, so I tattoo full time. I'm a full time father as well. Aside those, yeah, I paint a lot of graffiti, a lot of murals. Yeah.
So how old were you when you started tattooing?
I was 20 years old. I got my first tattoo at 19 or 20, and I ended up tattooing shortly after that. So I think I started my apprenticeship around 20.
So you say that got you started, or was it the graffiti? How old were you started graffiti?
So I got into graffiti early on. I would say probably like 13, 14 years old. It was shortly right after I joined high school.
What made you like do it? Was it people around
I
you?
had homies that like I would. So I came up under more listening to like classic rock, and then I think like I always heard hip hop music on the radio, but then I got into like underground hip hop and stuff like 14, and then with that I followed through with graffiti and all the elements of hip hop as well. So
who were you looking up to at that time? Graffiti artists.
Looking up to. Shout out to my boy T-Logs, Tumor. Right. He was an early inspiration for sure, like West Coast graffiti. And then growing up in Albuquerque, it was, a lot of the gang graffiti, like locally I would see in the neighborhoods and stuff where I was growing up. So I always liked like the bold hand styles, Old English script. I guess I got an early fascination for that stuff because I grew up seeing that, especially with my uncles that were tattooed from prison, and so it was all around, and I getting more into it. I got into like West Coast graffiti, and yeah, definitely, like I said, man, TKO was definitely.
Were you around like gangs around that time, or?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, like my mom and dad, they're both from Barrios, so yeah, and I had uncles and everyone that were all. Do you feel
like this kind of helped you not?
Yeah, I like to say that I learned from their mistakes, of what not to do and what to do sometimes. So
who do you look up to now? Now that you're like big time.
As far as like tattooing or graffiti or
yeah, well actually both.
Tattooing, man, I look up to a lot of like my own homies. I don't know, I feel, coming up, you look up to a lot of people that you may not know, but I think, like, as I got more experience with tattooing and graffiti, I got to, paint and tattoo next to some of, like, people I idolized early on in my careers, so it's one thing to, like, look up to them, as far as, like, their technique and skill, but it's another, like, when you get to know them personally, so, there's a lot of people, man. One of them's like Brian Everett. He was early inspiration as well coming up in Albuquerque, especially with Black and Gray. He's one of the first guys to do like portraits back in the day in the 90s and early 2000s and be published in magazines. And I remember cutting out his work and putting it up on a wall, and it's like, man, one day I can't wait to tattoo that good. So Brian, everybody, yeah, he's a good friend of mine now. So
that's cool when you look up to somebody and you get to meet them.
Yeah,
I know I had that opportunity a few times. So.
Yeah, it just like you kind of look at them a little different too, because I think when you idolize someone, you kind of you don't see their everyday life and what, you know. So, you know, you get to see all that and eat with them and have these memories and experiences with them, and you learn to appreciate them as a person more than just, you know, an idol early on in your career that you looked up to, you know.
Do you feel like the graffiti kind of helped you with tattooing? Like,
Oh yeah, graffiti was definitely a gateway into tattooing for sure, especially with like lettering and composition. Because I know with like graffiti, you know, composition, you know how to work your letters and how they bounce off each other, and then, you know, putting them on the wall and filling up the wall. So I think that like that definitely transitioned into tattooing, you know, with shapes and working the body angles and muscles and making stuff flow with like fluidity, you know. So yeah, I think it played an important role into tattooing for sure.
so with knowing to do both of them, which one do you like? Or which one do you enjoy better?
Well,
Tattooing?
I mean, in my point in my career now, I love tattooing, and I try to never take it for granted and stuff. But it's tattooing is very demanding, especially because I do a lot of portrait work. There's a lot of pressure, you know, a lot of mental focusing, and, you know, at least 4 to 5 hours each piece. So
it drains you more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
you know, and so like graffiti, it's less demanding. So I could, you know, the pressure's there, but it's very loose, and I could really rely on my creativeness for the outcome. You know, so like that's. I kind of balance the two. Like I look at graffiti as something that kind of keeps me sane from, you know, from just, I guess, like the pressures of tattooing, getting burnt out with tattooing, you know. So
well, you're more open to do what you want, not what they want.
Exactly. So
well, yeah, you've been doing graffiti longer than tattooing.
Yeah, hell yeah, been doing it for a while. Almost 30 years, I want to say.
Is there any other mediums you would like want to get into?
Oh yeah. There's a bunch of stuff, man. I kind of dabbled a little bit into like a lot of different mediums, but I would like to jump into more of like oil painting and acrylics, airbrushing, pinstriping.
And I'm surprised you haven't got into that, like.
Yeah.
Just because you're in kind of like in the lower world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You haven't done it.
Yeah, so like my biological dad, you know, he built lowriders his whole life, and then I have a whole, you know, like my whole family. They, you know, all of them, they have garages in Albuquerque, and they build them from scratch, and they paint them all. And so yeah, I think it's a retirement plan. I would like to you know, dabble more into that, especially like airbrushing.
I feel like you'd be good at it because like I took a class out in the valley, and man, it's like a lot of like how you guys do it with the graffiti, how you have to mark it out already. Like these fools have to do the same thing. Like I don't know what I was doing. I just put tape. They're just like, just tape it down, and I'm like, I can't even think of an idea, you know. So I just did whatever, and just the painting like kind of reminded me of graffiti. Just
yeah, like so I have friends that like airbrush and like what you just told me. Like they always tell me, they're like, man, you know, like you have real good can control with all your graffiti, man. I bet you would kill it with airbrushing, because you know, everything has like a little learning curve to it, but they're just like, once you pick it up, yeah, there's different tips and different, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, that's something I definitely want to get into.
Yeah, the graffiti itself, it's like a trick, because I remember when I first started, like it took me a minute just to get hand control, you know. Yeah. And it's like I see how Tumor and all of them, how they run the little program, and I'm like, damn, this is like a whole.
Yeah, there's high pressure, there's low pressure, there's fat caps, medium, and thin caps for detail. So, you know, once you kind of learn what it's like tattooing, like whatever, you know, like you want to learn what works for you, but you learn from other people, and you kind of take from them, and you kind of figure out how you like to work yourself with you know, different techniques and strategies. So yeah, you know, that's the like beauty of it, I think, is that process, you know. So
with tattooing, what's the craziest tattoo you've done? Like, either spot or tattoo, either or.
Craziest, I think one of the craziest experiences I had is like when I tattooed Von Miller. He was for the sports fans, you know, he's a Bronco Yeah, he was a Denver Bronco for for a while. He
My
recently
business
got
partner would
traded
love
out.
that.
Yeah, but
She's
like,
a Bronco fan, that's why.
oh, okay.
I tatted her Bronco like right on her hand.
Oh, that's diehard shit.
Yeah, dude, I was like, damn, yeah.
But one of the funniest stories I had with him was I had tattooed a COVID tattoo on him, and it was right when the shutdown had happened, and he wanted a COVID tattoo for whatever reason. I thought it was kind of weird, but whatever, so him and his homies got all matching COVID tattoos, and no, I mean, he didn't tell me nothing like that. And then so like a week goes by and he ends up catching COVID, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, he either had COVID the whole time or maybe he just jinxed himself or something like that. So I thought that was kind of like a crazy little experience.
Like you're asking for it.
Yeah.
The universe.
Exactly. Yeah.
So give me COVID. There you go. Bam. Your wish is my command.
The truth, right? Spoken to reality. Yeah.
Is there any like artists that you would like want to, I guess, work with, or even collabos? Like I've seen other artists that like tattoo together like at the same time. I think that's pretty cool to do.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool.
Or even graffiti pieces. Like, is there someone that you would want to do like? I see how you guys kind of like. It's different. No, it's different people, but you guys make one big ass art piece. What the fuck? It's just
yeah. No, there's tons of people out there. I would definitely would like to collab with. One of them, I mean, just right off of the tip of my head, would be Bates. He's a world-renowned graffiti artist, and he's been going ham since I was a little kid. I remember just seeing his stuff in magazines, but the way he works is like all his colors and composition and characters with his pieces. It's really it's just done so well. Like, so I would like to pick his brain, because I'm one of those guys too that likes to paint with people and then vibe off their energies and their creativity and kind of feed off that, and then kind of see what happens, as the outcome from that.
Have you ever met anybody famous that like there's like assholes like?
Oh yeah, all the time, especially with tattooing, man.
How about graffiti?
Sometimes
I wish. That?
Oh yeah, even more so with graffiti too. When there's like drugs and egos involved, it kind of kills a lot of that shit that you have pictured in your mind of that person, maybe, you know what I mean?
Put them too high.
Yeah,
they put too high, they fell too fast.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I met people that were like, I thought they were gonna be cool, and they were just like dicks. Like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, it kills it, and then
I'm deleting all your shit now. I like this shit.
Yeah, yeah, and then like you wish like you would have never even have met them. You know what I mean?
Isn't there a saying that says like, "Don't meet your heroes,
don't meet your idols," or something like that?
They're only gonna disappoint you.
Yeah, no, that's a bummer.
So what's like your favorite thing to tattoo? I know, like I like doing.
As of right now, like in my career, I like anything black and gray. I know right now I'm into shapes, so I'm really learning how to break down. Say like a portrait, I've learned to not look at it like a face. I kind of break everything down into like different shapes that make that nose or that mouth or that hair especially. I've been paying attention a lot to hair. Actually, I would say hair right now, and filigree's always been one, but I'm definitely I love tattooing that stuff. There's so much fluidity.
You're fucking amazing at it, because honestly, I see other artists that like are dope. They can't do it. They can't.
Filigree is one of those things that's it's if you don't understand.
And a lot of people don't.
How filigree grows and if it flourishes and all that stuff, it can be confusing and it's easy to fuck up. Yeah, for sure.
One thing that people don't understand is that it's a plant.
A cactus flower,
has to just twirl, Yeah. And then everybody just like has them like long, and it's like, bro, what the fuck is that? Like, where's it coming from? It's just floating. It has to come from somewhere. So they all have to like find a way to connect to it,
Yeah, all of that plays a role in
the way they shade it too. And like I
light source.
Light source is the main thing that a lot of artists fuck up on. Like I see them dope as fuck. Like they'll grab different images, right? They're all photoshopped, but you have light source here, and then this one has over here, and then this one has over here. So it's like, bro, where's it at? So it's like I try to like, okay, my light source is here. even if the picture is facing this way, I'll face it this way, so
Right.
the light source could all hit the same side. You know?
That's important, man. I've seen so many people do like great tattoos, but the light source on this whole sleeve it doesn't all match up. It's all like 3-4 different light sources.
You know what else bugs me? When they have like some spots that's too dark and you can't connect the next piece.
Oh man, like that's a pet peeve of mine too. I know for me, like I always try to keep like the customer, the client's longevity in mind as well. So like if I do a portrait or something, I won't black out the back,
or even the bottom,
or any of it. I always kind of think, I always tell them like, well, what do you want to do? Are you looking to get a sleeve? I mean, you already got a piece down here. Why don't we start thinking about what we're gonna add around it? And then they come back, and then fast forward, what I mean, they have a whole sleeve, and they'll hey, I really appreciate you keeping like the long term of this whole process in mind early on, And,
what a lot of people need to keep in mind is that there's a difference from a tattooist and a tattoo artist. You're a tattoo artist, right? You're thinking of the body as an art piece, not just like, oh, let me make some money. So tattooists will be like, here, I want this, and they'll be like, put it on you. You fucking want it in a retarded ass spot, they're gonna do it. They don't care, they just want your money.
Right.
We will be like, nah, don't do it there. Like, I even turn pieces down, they're like, nah, and they're like, well, I don't know what else I want. And I'm like, well, I would tell them stuff, they're like, well, I don't know, let me think about it. I'm like, all right, cool. I'd rather them come back and get something they want instead of me having it covered, and now I'll have to like make it fit, when
it's almost like you already know what they want even before like they even know what they think they want. You know what I'm saying?
I always just tell them like, what theme do you want? Like, give me a theme, and then certain things you like, and I'll just run with it. Yeah,
I mean, it's what we do every day, and I think it just boils down to just caring about, about your craft, caring
That's
about
where the artist comes in, and then the tattooist just wants their money. You'll go to the tattoo shop, and they literally hire, like some shops just literally hire anything. Like they don't care.
Right.
Their portfolio, they're like, oh, you can tattoo, make money, cool. Here, we'll give them the little tattoos, because that's what they did to me in the beginning. I barely turned 18, dude. They saw that I could tattoo, they already threw me to the wolves. I was even like, oh shit, these fools took off to a convention, they left me at the shop by myself. I had maybe like a week tattooing like people. So I was like, oh shit, I hope I'm fucking up. Or I don't know, I just hope I didn't overcharge somebody or like undercharge them, you know? So that's what I was worried about, because I was bad at charging. I was just bad to start off with. Even now, I feel like I'm still bad at charging, so I just give people a flat price. And the people are complaining it's too much, and I'm just like, I don't feel like I charge a lot, because I know the fools that charge way more.
Right.
And sometimes like I'll do a lot for, and it's not even a lot.
There's a lot that goes into it, you know what I mean? It's more than just putting ink in, on someone's skin. There's, there's different elements of like building that confidence as well, especially the more you do it. And, self-worth is like a big thing, supply and demand, but again, all that comes down to like, your confidence and how much you really care. And anyone could just throw a tattoo on and keep it moving, but, someone that really has a visual of what they're kind of trying to achieve with, maybe a sleeve or something, that's the key to that shit. That's what's gonna separate you from someone else, I feel, in my opinion,
So at the rep that you're at like right now, do you feel like you have like a bunch of haters? Do they like be hating on you?
I mean,
not directly.
I feel like if you're good at anything, you're always gonna have them type of people. But I've learned to like compliments and all the hate, to me it's all the same shit. And for me, I know I just try to stay focused, and I'm my own worst enemy. I critique myself. No one can rip me apart more than myself, right? So I always feel that I already have enough dealing with myself, you know what I'm saying? So anything outside of that, I kind of like, I've learned to block it. And, I'm human, someone might say something that might sting a little bit, this and that. But, for the most part, I keep it moving. I stay focused. And, man, I just, every piece I do, I always, try to give it 110%. And I've always kept something, like when I was an apprentice, my mentor was just like, you're only as good as your last piece. So I kind of apply that to, or you're only as good as your last tattoo is how he would put it. But I apply that to like graffiti and everything, So I always kept that in the back of my head, and always strive to be the best version of myself, basically,
So what helps you stay motivated?
Man, just uh, a lot of things, man. Just life in general, going through shit. You know what I mean? I recently had a breakup, so I feel like my breakup was like my motivation. You know what I'm saying? I had a few house scares, and I feel like that helped me fucking try to work my personal health, step up that, because I put that on the back burner for so many years, and then being a tattooer, you're just sitting down all day, and that shit catches up to you. So, but yeah, just anything in general that we go through, I think is what I've learned to find motivation through that. You know what I'm saying? Breakups or anything like that. So
if someone asked you that was just starting off, to give them some advice, what advice would you give them?
As far as like what, tattooing?
Just yeah.
I tell youngsters all the time that are coming in the game, if you want to get good fast, I feel like the fastest way to that is just drawing in general. And then when you're tired of drawing, draw some fucking more, because I feel like it's what you do behind closed doors that really matters the most. You know what I'm saying? We're going to a tattoo shop, and we're there to perform and put on a good show and stuff, but it's more so like what you do behind the closed doors, stuff to build your confidence up. I know for me, like if I could go back and do it all over again, I would definitely just draw my ass off as much as I could until I was tired and sick and tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when you draw, you're answering questions. Like I know for me, like when I would draw a portrait, the more I drew it on paper, the more I understood. So then when I went to tattoo it, I had more confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because I understood from drawing how a nose should look, or light source, paying attention to like dynamic lighting and all that, contours and shapes and all that. So
did you learn on your own though?
Yeah, I'm self-taught, but I mean, I can't say I'm self-taught, because I had people on my journey growing up in different tattoo shops and shit.
Yeah, but you didn't do
I dropped out of I dropped out of high school in like junior year. No, just the classic art class that I had, but I didn't even fucking really go, to be honest. I you know what, to be honest with you, it was this kind of, yeah, exactly,
That's what I did.
But I kind of just, from all the tattoo shops I worked at through my career, I picked up shit working with different guys, and some of them had art college backgrounds and shit, and I would pick up stuff from them, and so I'd learn on my way, like working with different tattooers in different shops, so yeah, and eventually I got books, and then I would go on YouTube too, you know what I mean, and just like even to this day, the other night I was looking up like contour shading, and muscles and how form and all that shit, and I'll draw. I try to draw every at least a couple times out of the week now, and I just try to keep my sword sharp. You know what I mean? Keep my brain.
Have you heard that saying? They say about the what is it called? The people that cut the wood, the lumberjacks. Yeah, a little story about them. They said that one guy, he didn't want to stop to sharpen his axe,
right?
Because he didn't want to stop. It was gonna cut his time off. And then the other smart guy, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna take some time to sharpen it every so often. He ended up cutting more wood because his knife was sharp, and the other guy was taking longer because his knife was dull.
Yeah.
So it's like, y'all gotta freshen up your skills if you want to get better. Everybody trips out on me too, because I'm taking classes for everything, and then they're just like, dude, you just keep going to school for art. I'm like, well, dude, you're always learning. I took art classes. I even took regular art. They taught me art. They taught me oil, but not like the way my teacher teaches.
Right.
I'm actually gonna end up interviewing him. He's just shy, so he's like building up the courage. So, but he's the one that's been teaching me how to do like all the oil paintings that I have.
Yeah.
Dude, his class is completely different from what I've learned.
Right.
And we're getting taught by teachers from Otis.
Yeah.
So that's like a high school there. Oh, because I was taking I took a class. Well, it was like a college, not a college course. It was a college course, but I was in high school, and then I ended up getting that program. They had those teachers, but even then, they didn't teach me like him. You know, like, the way he teaches is just fucking just dope, dude. Y'all gotta check him out.
Yeah, dope. I mean, you know, knowledge is key, man. I used to think that all that shit was like cliche and corny as fuck, you know, growing up. But now that I get older, I'm going back to all, you know.
You know, it's funny. I used to
all
hate
that
school.
stuff,
I used to hate school, and I was like, now I want to learn.
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
I didn't want to, like, I was there and it wasn't listening.
Yeah, it was like when I was younger, I was too cool for all that bullshit.
But in a way, it's good though. No, but in a way, it's good though, because all that shit they taught us in school was bullshit. It's all crap.
Yeah.
Like, it's all shit that we don't even need. Maybe history. The only reason history is good is because we see the stupidity they did, and for us not to repeat it. But it seems not to be working because people are like, we keep repeating history like over and over.
Oh yeah,
like,
always. That's. Yeah.
Did you guys see that? Like, you know how they're trying to replicate like the reptiles and all that shit, like to make dinosaurs. It's like, didn't you watch Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro, you're gonna fuck shit up. Like, leave it alone. It died then for a reason.
Right.
You know, like,
and you see
if
how
not,
movies,
we weren't gonna. Yeah. It's like if they were alive, we wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to bring it? Like, you want to kill us? Like, what is the whole point? You know, like, it's not gonna do nothing for us. Are we gonna eat it? Like, what is the point? You know, like, if they're at least making animals so they can feed us, because I feel like that's gonna be a problem. Figuring out how to come up with food. We Americans are fucking fat asses. We're always just eating. Like, you see how we were talking about Europe. Like, these fools don't even eat though. I'm just like, dude, are you gonna eat? You know? But everything, their portion is small. We're supposed to eat a small portion, you know. But over here, we just consume.
Yeah.
But they want us to have diabetes and all that stuff.
Right.
You know, so.
They give you medication for all that too.
Well, yeah, there's no money in healthy people. There's money in sick people. Because I keep coming.
Yeah. It's a business, you know.
Yeah, but. All right, you guys. Well, we're at the end of the podcast. I don't want to make it too long and have you guys bored. But you have any shout-outs to give out?
Man, just, you know.
Say your IG, say your things. We'll make sure to put all his links in. But, you know, you want to say them out loud just in case?
Yeah, so it's Lorenzo_Baca_tattoos. Shout out to Harbor Lights Tattoo in Aurora. That's where I mainly tattoo at in Aurora, Colorado. I'm always back home in Albuquerque as well. Every 3-4 months I always go back home. Shout out to Gali too. And you know, T-Lokes and all of them always taking care of me when I come out to Los Angeles.
We have to. You're our favorite artist.
Yeah, right on. I appreciate that. Yeah, and my whole 856 family. So shout out to all you guys as well. Yeah.
All right, you guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell, so every time I post up new stuff, you guys could be on it. So, you guys, peace out. We out.
Peace.